Hello, my name is Dave McCarthy, your current Ward 1 City Councilor running for re-election. First and foremost, it's an honor and a privilege to be running for re-election to the position of Ward 1 City Councilor. Over the past 18 months or so, I have met so many more constituents in the ward face to face and hopefully have solved some of their issues. Public safety, public works, parks, and neighborhood issues are priorities. Ward 1 is a vibrant, close-knit area made up of neighborhoods that take pride in their sections of the ward. The people of Ward 1 make the ward. As I have said before, my experience over the last 15 years has been a plus. Also, balancing a large family of 8 has also been a challenge, and their support over the years has always been first and foremost. My wife Rosie and I have always been a team at home and in the community. Back in January of 2018, I was sworn in as the Ward 1 councilor. I had certain issues on my mind, issues that residents spoke to me about. Overdevelopment in our neighborhoods was a priority. Making sure development happened where it should happen and making sure it wasn't invading our neighborhoods. I made it a priority to attend zoning, conservation, planning, and licensing board hearings to make sure I was on top of all the changes being brought forward or occurring in my ward. This was instrumental in making sure my homework was a done deal on a particular subject. You must be engaged 100% with the 4 boards I just mentioned. The storms of early 2018 were horrific. My focus and the administration's focus was on public safety and assisting folks that were severely impacted in the ward. Seawall and drainage funding in the neighborhood of $14.3 million has been submitted to the council, and we will move on this request in the fall. Included in the funding request is stormwater pumping project money for Ward 1. All of this will improve public access, coastal resiliency, and most importantly, drainage issues. The rezoning of Much of Howes Neck in Ward 1 will also be brought out of committee and voted on this fall. Much of Howes Neck is zoned Residence A single family, except a portion of C Street from Manor Ave to Brill Field. This initiative in the Ordinance Committee will prohibit a change in use from business to residential, and only if that residential is Res A, single family. The ordinance itself will be fine-tuned to protect the interests of those residential and business structures in place today. A complete comprehensive analysis of zoning across the city is currently in committee. If analyzed correctly, this will protect a good amount of our neighborhoods from overdevelopment. I will be reviewing all sections of Ward 1 in regards to this rezoning initiative. The Maritime Center is now back on the table after some other priorities were addressed last year. The demolition of the old center will commence after the boating season, and a new ramp will be put in place. The docking area will be much improved and will be in place by next spring. The new Maritime Center will take time, but the end result will be a plus for Howes Neck and the rest of the ward. Several blighted properties also need to come to a closure point. I have been working with the administration to address these locations and execute a strategy that improves the neighborhood where they are and makes certain the owner of the property keeps the property up to favorable standards. Road work will continue throughout the ward also. Several streets were addressed this past year and more are slated for 2020. Streets are not just looked at from the surface, but the infrastructure beneath is evaluated as well to ensure a complete street overhaul is accomplished and money is spent wisely. The city in Ward 1 will also be getting a new safety center police station at its current location. Design funding has been approved and is ongoing. This is a necessity for Quincy and will bring our public safety personnel and facilities up to today's standards in law enforcement technology. The newly formed Department of Natural Resources has thrived under the direction of the Mayor and Commissioner Dave Murphy. All parks and playgrounds have improved. For the first time, we have a commissioner who is spearheading conservation plans and solutions. Working with myself on a weekly basis, as well as the DPW, Mr. Murphy's involvement with conservation issues abundant in the ward is only a plus for the community. Lastly, our budget has been solid. Education funding has been increased by $5 million. Property tax stabilized. The total levy on the books is up 1.5%, and we have seen $18 million in new growth in the last 3 years. The 2018-2019 single-family tax increase is about half the state average, and we are projecting in the near future more new growth in the city. These are all positive steps forward. I work hard for the ward and I enjoy serving the residents of Quincy. I will look forward to hopefully even harder and work harder over the next few years and humbly ask for your vote on September 10th, preliminary day in the city of Quincy. Thank you and God bless.